The significance of these facts, which clearly prove the papacy, should be even more evident when we recall that Jesus sits upon David's throne. Jesus is the King, true God and true man. He is the founder of the church and the ultimate successor to David's throne. But he gives his authority, the keys of the kingdom, and the commission to govern his flock to St. Peter. Hence, the office of St. Peter is that of Jesus' prime minister or vicar when we consider that Jesus is the king. Yet, when Jesus leaves the world and ascends into heaven, he gives authority over the church to St. Peter, and Peter consequently holds the place of the king. That's why Peter's position in Scripture parallels both the position of prime minister under Old Testament kings and the position of King David himself, as we just saw. In the Davidic monarchy, there was not only a king who ruled all the people, but the king had a royal cabinet. Jesus' royal cabinet, which parallels the 12 tribes of Israel and the royal cabinet in the Davidic monarchy, is the 12 apostles. However, of all the king's ministers in the Davidic monarchy, there was one minister who stood out with authority above the rest. That was the prime minister, who was over the king's house. In Isaiah chapter 22, we read that the prime minister had the key of the house of David. Quote, "In that day I will call my servant Eliakim the son of Hilkiah, and I will clothe him with your robe, and I will bind your sash on him, and I will commit your government into his hand. And he shall be a father to the inhabitants of Jerusalem and to the house of Judah. And I will place on his shoulder the key of the house of David. He shall open, and none shall shut, and he shall shut, and none shall open." End quote. This passage informs us that the prime minister of the king had the key of the house. That signified authority over the king's house. The prime minister also had successors. The prime minister had the power to open so that no one shuts, and shut so that no one opens. The parallel to Matthew 16:18-19, where Jesus says that St. Peter will receive the keys of the kingdom, and that whatever he binds upon earth shall be bound in heaven, and that whatever he looses upon earth shall be loosed in heaven, is unmistakable. Jesus established St. Peter and his successors to be his prime ministers, and when Jesus left the world, after having entrusted the flock to St. Peter, Peter stood as Jesus' representative and in his place as leader and governor of the church. That's why Peter's position throughout the Acts of the Apostles is that of the church's leader, and why his role at the Council of Jerusalem parallels King David's position. As these facts demonstrate to anyone of good will, Protestants and other non-Catholics who reject the papacy are wrong. Their position is without any doubt false. They don't have the true Christian faith. When they deny the papacy, they deny the office and position established by Jesus Christ himself. When they attack it, they attack what God himself instituted. Unless they humble themselves, accept the truth that's so clearly proven by these facts, and convert to the traditional Catholic faith, the one true Christian faith outside of which there is no salvation, they will definitely be lost.